Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And of course, we're going to continue to cover just this god awful tragedy with Charlie Kirk. And I will be taking calls. And I'm going to put the number in the chat room in just a moment. There have been a lot of developments, and I'm going to talk about those and some of the things that are being said. And it's still a tough time, but when a tragedy happens, you can't turn back the clock and stop it from happening. So what has happened since, and this assassination of Charlie Kirk has been a major turning point in this country. And I'm not sure that the left realize how much of a turning point this is, but they're going to find out real quick because things are happening, and they're happening fast. So we're going to go through all of those, and of course, your calls are welcome. I'm pinning the number in the chat. Now, those of you watching right now, I'm going to start my other live stream. So if you're seeing the green screen behind me, you'll obviously see and hear me. You'll hear the callers. But to see and hear the video that I play, and the audio sound bites and such, you're going to have to hop on to my other stream, which I'm going to start right now. Okay? Welcome. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. All right? Let's go. Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and we're going to go over the things that have happened since the tragic loss of Charlie Kirk. And I want to say on this morning's show, those of you that called in on the show this morning, thanks so much, because you got me through a show that I would not have been able to get through if it were not for all of you. So you all helped me so much on that show this morning. I don't know what I would have done without you. And with a couple of exceptions, we didn't have any of the disrespect that you're seeing all over social media from these leftists after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So I'm going to go through some things on the show this morning. I didn't play any audio sound bites. I didn't go through any of the articles. It was really I guess it was kind of like a therapy session of sorts where you all were calling in and sharing how you felt and were reacting, and I was doing the same. But I want to go through now some of the things that have been said today, and I want to talk about them. I want to go through them, and as I go through them, we'll call in. The number is, if you're watching live on YouTube, the number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. The Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Wherever there's podcasts, just go and search for The Brian Craig Show, and the podcast will pop up. If you want to watch live so you can call in and both see and hear me and everything else, go to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. All right, well, let me get to it. And what I'm going to go through is in no particular order, all right? So much has been happening, and I just felt it was just better to start going through some stuff and talking about it. So nothing I'm going through is in any particular order. But I want to play this clip because it's a pretty powerful one. It's Don Jr. Talking with Megyn Kelly about how he and Charlie Kirk became such good friends. And let me share this, and we'll talk about it. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Don Jr., of course, he's talking about starting in Butler with his dad. When this happened yesterday, and I saw that video, my first thought was, and I said this, I said to my wife, I said, he's gone. He's gone. And then, like Don Jr. said, about 20 minutes or so, I was live streaming here on YouTube. And I don't know, about 20 minutes or so later, it was hard to keep track of the time, the AP said that he was in surgery and was receiving blood transfusions, and he was in critical but stable condition, according to their sources at the hospital inside law enforcement. And I thought a miracle had happened. And then, of course, none of that was true. The AP was completely fake news on that. Exactly. Wow. Yeah, I mean that's some story with Don Jr. and he's so right. I mean, I've talked a lot over the years, and of course in the last 24 hours, about what Charlie Kirk has done is something that no one ever fantasized could ever be done, and that was turning young people into Republicans. I was reading on X a little while ago. You've probably seen a lot of this. Gen Z, not these lost millennials, the AOC generation, the Mayor Pete generation. The Gen Z, it's being talked about that they're going to be the most conservative generation, maybe ever. Maybe ever. And a lot of people were red-pilled when the Never-Trumpers shot the president in Butler. And then they tried to do it again at the golf course. And there's been a massive red-pilling of young people with the purple hair and blue hair and all that stuff around the country just in the last 24, 25 hours since Charlie Kirk was taken from us. And that's, but even before Charlie Kirk became our MAGA martyr, it's so hard to believe he's gone. What he did that no one thought was ever possible and never even attempted to do it was turn college students and even high school students into conservatives. And it was, people say, well, how could they not have the security? How could they not do this? How many of these college sit-ins has Charlie Kirk done over the last decade? How many? more than probably anyone could count. I mean, this is like an everyday thing. And what he was doing in Utah yesterday, which is something he did 100,000 times. I mean, you know, these monsters at Columbia that we saw, okay, a few months ago when things were heating up there in New York. That's how most colleges were around the country. Left-wing lunatics. Even in conservative states, and parents would save up their whole life to send their kids to college. They raise them right, they come back, they're liberal. This is just how it's been. And Charlie Kirk turned the college student population into Republicans en masse. And I was talking earlier that's why they killed him, because the Democrat Party, they see what's happening here. But I'll tell you, they put a lot of nails in the coffin of the Democrat Party, starting in Butler. But this is it. This is like the final straw for the Democrat Party. They're done. Now, by the way, if you're on hold, hang in there. I will take calls. I am going to give the same warning I gave this morning. I'm not going to sit here and dance with liberal weirdos saying inappropriate, sick, twisted, demonic things. Okay? If you go that route, and this is for like the regular, I have always been a place where no matter your political beliefs, you are welcome to call me. I take calls from people who agree with me, and I take calls from people that disagree with me on everything I say. I take calls from people that love the show. I take calls from people who tell me they hate the show and hate me, even though they listen and watch every day. So if you call in and you behave like these lunatics and sick, twisted people that we're seeing all over social media, that will be an automatic, no warning, lifetime ban from ever participating in this program ever again. There are some things that are so over the bounds of good taste and bad taste and all of that is an automatic lifetime ban. And I'm not playing. And I don't ban people often. But I am not going to associate with satanic people like that. That is pure evil. So when I go to the phones, I'm telling you in advance, I did get some calls from some Democrats today who acted like decent people about this. So I'm not saying that if you are a liberal and you disagree with me or everything Charlie Kirk stood for, that you can't call in. But you can't act like these idiots. You know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So that's the only warning I'm going to give. And it will be an automatic lifetime ban. You will never speak to me again. You will never be a participant in this program again if you do that, all right? And I don't think that's unreasonable. I mean, you got to understand, this is like family to all of us in the MAGA movement. Second only to the president himself, okay? And I don't think that's a big ask. So if you're on hold, stand by. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can call in. The number's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. I wanted to play this clip of Dave Portnoy. I've never been a fan of Dave Portnoy, okay? He's all over the place because he's rich and he can buy his way in, let's face it, okay? He's not a likable person. He's a nasty SOB, and I could give a darn about his pizza reviews. I mean, I'm a pizza guy, okay? But who cares if he likes it or not? Who cares? Well, just let me play the clip. Okay, so he's what he's saying here is that Trump played a part in this. He's out of his mind. Victim blaming here. You know, President Trump is not divisive, and it's the other side that are. Just because they don't, listen. I don't agree with anything the Democrats stand for. Anything. I need to go through a list. You know. But that doesn't mean that their rhetoric is divisive to me, and that I have some right to react. President Trump, actually, if you look at President Trump on the issues, he's a different kind of Republican. He on many social issues, he's moderate compared to a lot of Republicans of the past. He's not against gay rights. Gay rights are different than the trans stuff that's going on. He was not in favor of outlawing abortion in cases of rape and incest, as an example. President Trump, when it comes to the social issues, is rather moderate. The MAGA movement is a moderate political organization, really, when it comes to the social issues. The trans thing is different, okay? And he is not a divisive person. We can't help it that the left are out of control. But they are. Let me play this clip. If you're on hold, stand by. This is Anderson Cooper, CNN. Okay. Now, I'm not saying this just because I'm in the radio and podcast business. But what is Anderson Cooper? He works for free? Anderson Cooper's paid millions of dollars a year for all of a sudden, if someone earns money, their views and what they report are not valid, then what about the millions of dollars in multiple homes that he owns? He has a home in South America on top of whatever he has here. So why are conservatives discounted if they earn a living? He earns money. Very strange, psychotic person. What kind of rhetoric is he talking about? That we're upset that they assassinated the great Charlie Kirk? What's the rhetoric he's talking about? Well, there is. There's Catholic children that were murdered in Minneapolis. Charlie Kirk, the president, shot by a liberal lunatic, Steve Scalise. Shot by a Democrat. There is a war, stupid. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is nuts. I mean, this is just complete and utter insanity. I'm going to take a break. When I get back from the break, I'm going to go right to the phone calls. So if you're on hold, you're next. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Make sure you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. All right, let's go to the phones. I'm Brian. It's the Brian Craig Show podcast. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Michael. I am calling from Parker, Colorado.
All right, Michael, what's up?
No, nothing. I think Charlie Kirk was incredible for what he did. But like you mentioned earlier, for 10 years he had this great program which he did college campuses where he was able to open young minds into the Republican Party, so to speak. And that worked for 10 years. But what happened over the last month is what changed. Because he wasn't assassinated for the 10 years, he was opening the minds of young people. What changed is there's two things that changed in the last 30 days. What changed 3 days ago is Charlie Kirk talked about and said, we have to release the Epstein files. He flipped on Donald Trump.
No. And in fact, none of that's true. And no, excuse me.
Hold on.
No, you hold on. No, none of that's true. He did talk about them at the Turning Point event in Tampa several weeks back, and he had moved on from that. And none of that's true. You see what I mean about these liberal idiots? Here you've got this great man with young children and a young wife. He's been murdered, and these liberals just look to push their agenda through on the death of a person. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Madison from California calling.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I just want to say that I think that MAGA is hurt, and I think we're pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I think this is the point where we have had enough. I saw Chuck Schumer today saying, oh, it's time to come together. It's time to have unity. I think that time is done. And they have been calling us Nazis for 12 years. They need to start going after the mainstream media hard because they are complicit in getting these people going.
I'll tell you this. We don't know. I'm going to put you on hold while I answer these 85 calls that are coming in. The thing, we don't know, as of this moment, we don't know everything about the assassin, right? We got a couple things as of this moment, and this could change during this broadcast, but we got the picture, right? And then
I
Crowder.
saw the guy, but
Well, hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, but
and then
this
Stephen,
has
and then
been going
hold
on for a long time.
I'm not going to hang up on you. You got plenty of time. And then Stephen Crowder broke this story about the transgender things that were etched on the weapon or the ammunition from the weapon. And what's happened here in the last, since Butler, the left have almost completely evaporated. The Democrat Party basically does not exist. Even these people in Congress, they don't represent very many people anymore. And when you're talking about the media, I agree with you. You know, those of you that listen to me, you know, I came up during a different era of media. So I'm what they do, what you're talking about, and I agree with what you said. It's irresponsible broadcasting. And freedom of speech ends when you're inciting violence. And
right, and we can agree that journalism.
Yeah.
Journalism is not lying, and we know that we've all seen this for years. Ever since Trump got in hard, we've been watching what they've been doing.
Well, with the media, what's happened on the left, okay, with the trans people, which are obviously out of control, right? These trans people are out of control. The left have created this subculture of trans people, and they've spent the last couple of years saying that all white people are born racist, Trump is a fascist, Republicans are Nazis, and those aren't just words. They actually believe that stuff. You know,
they put targets on our movement's back.
Yeah,
when they call us
that's
Nazis
right.
for 12 years.
Exactly. That's what I'm agreeing with you. What the media and the Democrats have done is created these domestic terror cells that have been shooting people. And they're directly responsible.
And I saw a list on X today where people were putting lists of a bunch of podcasters and platform artists to go after Trump next. They were saying this. So I want to tell you, and anybody that has a pod, please be careful out there.
Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you guys.
Wherever we go.
I'm going to tell you guys this
because you guys are the voices. I mean, Charlie Kirk was a giant voice for us. Amazing.
Well, I'm going to. Oh my gosh!
The voices left.
I'm going to tell you guys something that I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell or that I should tell. But the radio station has gotten a security detail for me. I've never had anything like that before, and I'm not alone. A lot of people like me have done that. And this is a whole new thing because this is the country that we're in now. You know?
Right, because you guys are the powerful voices left. You are influencers. And anybody that's going to go out and speak like publicly, they should have bulletproof glass around them. None of this.
The problem it's not that we're. I'm not gonna put it that way. It's not that we're influencers because this is not a new thing, right? What's changed is the Democrat Party and the mainstream media have created these hate cell groups and fed them hate and brainwash them to react in these terrible ways. And that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
And no one should have to live this way. You know? No one should have to live this way.
Well, I mean, what do you think Trump's going to do? I think they really need to come down hard on social media in order to start to solve this.
They don't want to do that. They'll use that again. That sounds good now because we're in charge. But what happens down the road when the Democrats are in charge? You don't want to do that. What you got to do is put these people in jail and clean it up. And there needs to look. I was watching.
No, that's what I mean. We need to go after the people on social media that are making threats.
Yes.
We haven't seen anybody arrested. All these people on TikTok videos.
Well, they're busy. They're busy.
Laughing,
they're busy.
You know?
They're busy. You know, if you haven't noticed, no, there's been a lot of policing going on with the community on social media. Laura Loomer and many others have been policing social media and finding people that have been saying these god-awful things. Laura Loomer found one person that worked for the Secret Service, and these people are facing consequences for their words. I was watching MSNBC a little bit right before the podcast, and Katie Tour, who said some inappropriate things yesterday after Charlie was assassinated. She's
Right,
told
they fired her.
she's terrified. She's on the air. She's terrified, backtracking, trying to sound like she's a rational person. So there is pressure being put on him. Hey, listen, I agree with everything you said.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Let's see here. I've lost track of the order in which you guys all called in. I apologize. I'm doing my best. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Nick out of Baltimore.
Hey, Nick.
I just wanted to turn the radio off.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to I couldn't call this morning. I just wasn't feeling up to it. I was up all night, couldn't sleep.
Yeah, so was I.
And yeah, I can imagine.
Hold on. Let me answer all these lines. All right, there you go, Nick. You're back.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to add a couple of things here to tie into what you're saying. I have just seen a bunch of videos of people from all backgrounds, black, white, people with multicolored hair, who were formerly liberal, and they said, we've had it.
Yeah.
No more Democrats.
I've seen that a lot. Young people.
Yeah, young people, yeah. There was one lady said she was a liberal or libertarian, and that's it. No more. Mm-hmm. After Charlie Kirk. The other thing is Scott Adams. What is it? Dilbert, the guy, Dilbert, I guess.
Yeah.
He came out and said he wants the Democrat Party to go down in flames. Basically,
they already have. They're done. They are done.
Yeah, and it's important because they've gone too far. And what's happened is when the left, because they're overreaching, they have unleashed the lion, and they're not going to win this battle. They're done. You're right. They're done.
Yeah.
This is so upsetting. What happened to Charlie Kirk? I know him. I've emailed him a couple of times. I listened to the guy. I really liked him. I saw that video. I did see that video once. I will never play it again.
No, don't watch that, guys. Don't watch it.
I just did it once, and and I only did it because I wanted to hear the question that was asked.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I never want to see that again. It made me sick to my stomach.
No, this was the end of the Democrat Party. You know, there have been 3 major assassination attempts. One of them successful in just over a year. 2 on the president, and now this.
Yes, and there's a Secret Service agent that's come out now. I don't know if you've seen this. That has on Facebook. He said that Charlie Kirk deserved what he got.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
And is calls for him to be fired.
Well, he's going to be. Laura Loomer is all over him. She's all over that. Laura Loomer.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you see you see the president today at the Pentagon? I've never seen him look like that. He was very upset.
Yeah.
He was in another place. He was so Melania too.
I'm a little worried about him going to the Yankee game.
Oh no, they've increased his security so much. You know, and he did not. He and Melania, you could tell they were up all night. I mean, I've never seen him look like that.
Well, that thing at the restaurant scared me to death.
Yeah, how'd that happen? Somebody leaked out that he was going there.
Well, now we know the Secret Service is corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Brian, listen, I wanted to just thank you for what you're doing. It really does help to talk about.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, those of you that are new to me, I've been around for a long time. And anytime I'm on the air in one of my studios, I take live calls like I'm doing right now. And everyone is welcome to call, okay? As long as you don't act like an idiot and say any of these inappropriate things about Charlie Kirk. You know what I mean? But I always am a place for open dialogue, no matter your political philosophy. If you disagree with me, I would love to have a discussion with you, okay? If you'd like to support my channel, and my podcast and radio show and everything I do, go to mypillow.com and use my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can use my promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for all the specials at mypillow.com. Right now, save $90 off the percale sheets with my promo code KANE. There's a free shipping offer as well. And I've been talking this week quite a bit because these have been out of stock for a while, and they're back. The MyPillow 6-piece towel set. I have these towels. They're the only towels that my family use. These are the most amazing towels you've ever used. And I know that sounds crazy. You're like, come on, a towel's a towel. No, it is not. Every other towel you've ever used has not been a MyPillow towel. All those towels do is spread the water around your body. The MyPillow towel actually absorbs the water. They're amazing. And they're $30 off with my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, just $39.98. So go to mypillow.com, use my promo code KANE at checkout. Again, you can use my promo code KANE on all the specials at mypillow.com, not just the ones that I talk about. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Frank in Titusville, Florida.
Hey, Frank. What's up?
Hey, well, as with all of us, I'm obviously really struggling just to accept what happened yesterday. And I was actually thinking about if I had an opportunity to speak to Charlie Kirk, I know exactly what I would say to him. And ironically enough, everything that I would say to him applies to you. So I'm actually honored to tell you this. And I just wanted to say that I truly admire what you do every day. Just your fearlessness when it comes to your support of Trump. Like right now, you're wearing your Trump 2028 hat and your alligator Alcatraz shirt. And just the fact that you're willing to take all oncomers, regardless of their point of view, and have civil discussions with them. And that's truly takes a lot of fortitude to do something like that. And there are a lot of us that are truly grateful that there are men like you out there that are willing to carry that gauntlet. The other thing that I just wanted to say, and I hope I'm wrong about this, I truly hope I'm wrong, but I am just so worried that yesterday set a new precedent, which is these liberal lunatics are thinking, well, we can't get to Trump, we can't get to anyone in his cabinet, and now it's just anyone that openly supports him is just open season. And that may have sounded crazy, maybe even, 48 hours ago, but we all saw what happened yesterday. And honestly, you were one of the first people that came to my mind, because like I said, you are not afraid to show your support for Trump. And I'm so worried that that's what's going to happen is that they're like, well,
you don't think I'm worried? You don't think I'm worried?
I don't doubt that you are, but basically just what I'm saying is, look, Brian, I listen to your show all the time. I know that you've got your haters, but man, I just want to say this from the bottom of my heart. There are a lot of us out there that love you and that we love what you're doing. And we are so grateful because just like what the Bible says, the work is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And you are one of those laborers. And I thank you so much for everything that you do.
Well, I appreciate it. Titusville, Florida, tiny little town.
Yes, sir.
I don't know why you guys have an airport there. It's so tiny, but you do. All right.
Well, I don't think it's a civilian airport, but
no, it is. There's a regular airport in Titusville. Yeah, you didn't know that?
I don't even know regular civilians could fly there. But.
Well, maybe they turned it into one. I haven't been there in many years. All right, appreciate the call and thanks for your kind words. Take care. All right. One opening on the board at 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Christopher McDaniel.
Just first names are all we need, but speak up, Christopher.
Hold on, let me take you off my headphones.
Yeah, but just first names, please. Christopher, where are you calling from?
My name is
Christopher, where are you calling from?
I am calling from Georgia.
All right, Christopher in Georgia. What's on your mind?
All right. I have followed the news and saw Charlie Kirk on the air. I have started watching him ever since he came on my phone. And one thing I want to say, back in last year, around when Trump was trying to get assassinated, that dude tried to sue him.
I didn't understand.
Now they
I didn't understand what you said, what you meant. I didn't understand that.
what I meant by trying to assassinate Trump.
Yeah, they tried
Last
twice.
year.
Yeah, twice. Yeah, Butler and then the golf course. Yeah.
Now they assassinated Charlie.
Yep.
Who is next?
Hopefully
And
no one.
that's like-
Hopefully no one. I mean, this is not a regular thing in this country. You know, we have not had, you know, because Charlie Kirk isn't an elected official, right? He's like a civilian. The way I've described him, he's a civil rights leader. And we haven't had a civil rights leader like this assassinated since Martin Luther King in 1968. So, you know, that's almost 60 years. So, you know, these things don't happen very often. And hopefully it doesn't happen again. You know? All right. Thank you for your call. Welcome to the program. Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air? Once, twice. All right. You missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
My name's Jace. I'm from Utah.
Yeah, Jay. What's up?
Hey, not much. I just wanna start this off by saying rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
And to these people that are laughing, I just got two questions for y'all. There's no hate. It's just all love for me. But if it was your dad, if it was your husband, would you still be laughing?
Yeah, you know, listen, the thing with Charlie Kirk, he was a very effective activist, there's no doubt about it, but he was always there to speak to people who disagreed with him, no matter how liberal they were, no matter how radical, atheist, everything. He never shunned people, and he always welcomed them right up to the podium to have a discussion. He was one of the most tolerant, conservative people ever in public life.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm 25 and I idolize Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
I hope in my life I become more like him.
He was a pretty amazing guy. Pretty amazing guy.
Yeah, and then I think what the world is coming to is disgusting, and I'm seeing posts about outrage, and I don't think Charlie would want that.
No,
I tell everybody, every God-fearing man out there, this is not a time for that. I say we go with in kind, and I don't mean by doing violence with violence. I'm saying as good Christians, we respond with love and kindness.
Yep.
Like Charlie would want us to.
Absolutely. No doubt. Absolutely. You're right. You're right. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your call.
You're welcome. You guys have a good day.
All right. Take care. Yeah. By the way, everyone on hold, you hang in there. I'm trying to get everybody on, and I'm doing my best to take these in the order in which they were received. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Derek. I'm calling from Tallahassee.
Derek in Tallahassee. What's on your mind?
Hi, I just have a question. How come you aren't speaking about Melissa Hartman?
What about Melissa Hartman?
How come the outrage isn't the same? The same thing happened.
Well,
she was murdered in her home.
I'll tell you, and maybe this is my fault. I don't know who that is.
She's a senator. She got murdered in her home.
Well, I'm
by
sorry.
a MAGA supporter.
When was this?
This was in June 2025.
What state was this in?
It was in New York.
I've never heard of her. I'll look it up.
You never
heard of it.
Please do, because I just want to understand.
This is
like,
by the way, that was in New York. It was hold on a second. That's the one in Minnesota, not New York.
Oh, yeah, in Minnesota.
That guy was, not only was he not MAGA, he was appointed to a job by Governor Walz. And he specifically said it had nothing to do with politics. It's not the same thing.
Well, other think otherwise.
Well, liberals see what's going. Let me tell you what's going on here. First of all,
I'm listening.
your argument is stupid. It's called the "you're another" fallacy, and as an example, the "you're another" fallacy. I'll give you an example of when the Democrats were doing this. When Lincoln Riley was murdered by that illegal who was trying to rape her, and she defended herself to her death. And when that became a national story, liberals said, well, how many Americans have killed people? Well, we're against all killing, okay? But that doesn't, what does that mean? He gets a freebie, the illegal, because some Americans are committing crimes? It's the "you're another" fallacy, okay? The other thing is this. This incident that you're talking about in Minnesota, all murder's bad.
For sure.
Okay. This was there's a few differences between the assassination of Charlie Kirk and this issue in Minnesota, these murders in Minnesota. Charlie Kirk was a targeted political assassination because of the work that he was doing. I was talking this morning. I believe the same people that killed President Kennedy killed Charlie. I believe the people that shot the president in Butler killed Charlie. This was a personal workplace grievance thing in Minnesota. It's not the same thing. But what the media are doing, because I was watching some of the media, they're bringing up all these things to try to say, well, the left aren't dangerous because these other things. It's total BS what they're doing, and it's disgusting what they're doing. So that's where you got that information from. In fact, when I had him, I've been flipping through all the cable news because I've been dying. I'm hoping they get the assassin. And I saw a little bit of MSNBC, and they put up on the screen all these unrelated incidents like you just did to try to discount what happened. That's like saying when Martin Luther King was assassinated in 1968, well, yeah, but there was another murder over here. It's not the same thing. Does that make sense?
I completely agree.
Okay.
No, it totally does, especially since you presented it that way. I just wanted to just kind of understand like the honest to God difference. And like I'm new to the topic too, but I'm just seeing that, people are out, and rightfully so, because his murder was tragic, whether you believe in his political views or not. But I just wanted to know where was this outrage months ago?
We're opposed to all murders. I mean, but you're talking about people that had like a workplace grievance, as opposed to a targeted political assassination. It's a big different thing, and that guy was not MAGA. But here's the thing. The majority of the country are MAGA, okay? And anytime you have a group that large, you're going to have a bad apple, okay? So as an example, the maximum security prisons in this country, where people are in prison for life sentences for murder and things like that, there's a large percentage of them are African American, right? So are black people responsible for the crimes of black people in prison? Or is that ridiculous? You see what I mean? Yeah, no, wait a minute. So if some guy who's black, just regular guy, he's at work right now, his name's John, he's at work, is he responsible for a black guy who's in prison for murder?
No.
Okay, so when you have, exactly. So if someone who voted for President Trump or is MAGA does something, why are we responsible for that person?
But it's like, all right, the point I'm trying to make is, my phone is about to die. But the point I'm trying to make is, it just seems like it's a lot of picking and choosing on selective outrage on this topic.
It's not selective outrage. The Democrat Party has put together a hate cell that are there have been three attempted assassinations in just over a year. One of them was successful. Charlie Kirk, and 2 with the president. And if you go through the history of assassinations in this country, they're almost always Democrats against Republicans. President Lincoln was a Republican. He was assassinated by a Democrat, John Wilkes Booth. President McKinley and Garfield were assassinated. They were Republicans. President Teddy Roosevelt was stabbed. He was a Republican. President Kennedy was assassinated by a man who defected to the Soviet Union, a leftist communist socialist. Okay? So there's an exception to that. John Hinckley, who shot President Reagan, was a Republican, right? This guy that, but these other assassinations, all Democrats. Steve Scalise. There was this Bernie Sanders Democrat shot Steve Scalise, Democrat congressman, tried to kill the entire Republican baseball team at practice. So you've got one Republican, all these other assassins were Democrats.
Yeah, and I do see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. But I appreciate you asking these questions and being able and being open to take in new information.
Yeah. I just want to thank you for your time.
Well, thank you.
Have a good day. And like I said before, rest in peace, Charlie. That was
absolutely
that was sad to happen, no matter your political views. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, take care. Well, good guy. He's a good guy, that guy, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Let's take a quick break.
But
All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, sorry, it was muted. I asked for that to be not be disclosed, and for that and for my name to not be disclosed either.
Okay.
You can refer to me as anonymous if possible.
All right, you're anonymous. It's fine.
Thank you very much. Now, I would ask, before we start our conversation, would you like to be preferred as Mr. Craig or Brian?
No, I'd rather not be bored to death. We got an update here on Fox from the president. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. See if this is an extended version. Yeah, that's some good points there. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Bob. I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And
Okay, that's good. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. Okay, you're out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
All right.
My name's Jay. How you doing?
All right. How are you, Jay?
Oh man, I'm not doing too good, buddy.
It's been a rough day.
Not doing too good.
Been a rough 24 hours.
Yeah, man. I'm really just trying to understand why, when the MAGA supporter went into the Walmart in Texas and shot up all those Hispanic people, embracing the great replacement theory that Charlie Kirk used to profoundly push, or the other MAGA supporter who went into Buffalo, New York, with the N-word written on the side of his gun when he was killing old black people in the supermarket. I'm so puzzled as to why outlets like yourself didn't cover those stories.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to answer your question. I'm not refusing. I'm not refusing. Hold on. See, I was talking to a caller before the break about this thing that you're doing. I'm not familiar with these incidents that you're talking about.
Oh, you're not familiar. You're not familiar with.
But that. Well, I am. Not, it's okay. It doesn't matter. The majority of the people in this country are MAGA people, right? Because President Trump.
No.
Excuse me. I let you talk. I'm responding to you. You wanted to know. You wanted to know why I'm responding to what you said we won't respond to. But to respond what you say that we won't respond to, you have to let me respond.
But you act like you don't know stuff. You guys know everything. But then whenever we bring stuff up, oh, you don't know that. I don't know.
I'm trying to explain something to you in a civil way. Okay.
Proceed.
Okay.
Proceed,
well, thank you. The majority of the people in this country are MAGA because the president won the national election less than a year ago.
False president.
And he won and he won. Well, if you can't even accept that he's the president, how can I have a conversation with you? But and he also won the battleground states. So most people are MAGA. It's a large sample of the country are MAGA. Most of the people are. But what you on the left want to do is anytime someone who's MAGA does something, you want to blame all of MAGA for that, like we're all responsible. Now, so to explain this to me, what's your ethnicity? Are you African American?
I'm black.
You're black. Okay, you're black.
Black American.
You're Black American.
Black American.
Okay, I what I'm going to ask you, I asked of the caller before the break. Same thing. If you go to the maximum security prisons throughout this country, and you go to the prison blocks where they have the murderers that are doing life sentences, there's a high percentage of them are black, like you. If someone black murders, okay, are you responsible for their crimes? You're black, they're black.
Yeah.
Are you responsible for their murders?
Yeah. That's a false premise.
No, it's the premise. No, it's the same premise. You think President Trump and MAGA? Excuse me, it is the same premise. You say that President Trump and MAGA supporters are responsible for any crime a MAGA person does. So why are you not responsible for crimes that other black men do? Explain that to me. It is. It just doesn't fit your argument. Just doesn't fit. You just haven't thought about it like that before. MSNBC didn't feed that to you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hey, this is Brandon. I'm from Arkansas, and I got two questions, right?
Pick the best one, and lead with that one.
Oh, can you repeat that? Sorry, I can't.
Pick the best question you have out of the two, and start with that one.
Okay. Well, since Charlie passed away sadly, who do you think will rise next to get back to the youth, Because Charlie, he was pretty close to the youth, because he was a pretty young guy. He started Turning Point USA when he was like 18 or something like that. What do you think? It would just be some random guy crawling out of the blue, or would it be another politician?
No, I think stupid conversation. I knew as soon as I heard his voice. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Melissa in Tennessee again.
Hey, Melissa.
I talked to you this morning.
Yep.
Really upset.
Sure, so am I.
Anyway,
We all
I just was going to bring... yeah, that's true. I just had this on my mind, too. He was just so important to MAGA. Trump really, he went to Charlie for advice. When he bombed Iran, I think he was on the short list of people he called. And when he went to the colleges and was doing all the speeches and stuff, he even registered kids to vote for 2024 election. He just done everything.
That's right.
Everything.
That's right.
He dotted every I and crossed every T. I don't think he didn't think of anything to do to help this country. And also, I was thinking that, he was big on the deportations. He said all of them needs to go. And even when those rhinos, as he called it, I think it was that Maria Salazar in Florida.
Yep.
She was really trying to get that amnesty going, and he had heard about it, and he on his show said we've got to get this word out, because Trump had even mentioned we've got to do something for these farmers. We might do something for the farmers, or we're not going to forget about the farmers or something, trying to get those farmers amnesty. And Charlie said, we can't let this happen. He said, the rhinos is trying to do this, and he said, we're going to stop it or try our best or something. And like the very next day, if it wasn't the very next day, it was like 2 days later, Trump said, we're not going to do amnesty, Yeah. It was like, he listened to Charlie.
He
and,
did. He
he's
did.
Going to be missed. Yes, he did.
And President Trump said he wouldn't have gotten reelected without Charlie Kirk. And he's. And by the way, he said that months ago, not now after the assassination.
Yeah, but he was big on, he watched everything. He watched the rhinos. He didn't trust them, he believed what he believed, and he didn't want them to ruin Trump's presidency, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you could see, you could see the president and the first lady today at the Pentagon for the 9/11 ceremony. I've never seen them look like that, either of them. They were so...
Oh, yeah, he was... Yeah, no, so I don't think he got probably, like all of us, didn't get any sleep.
No, he and the First Lady were somewhere else. I mean, they just were really upset.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, devastated. That's all I wanted to say is just that MAGA's going to miss him.
You know what I wonder? You know, I just saw Air Force Two just landed in Arizona with Charlie Kirk taking him back home. And I'm wondering how this will affect the Arizona. Will we get Arizona back in our red column?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
After this, he's from
I don't
Arizona.
believe Katie Hobbs won that election.
Yeah,
I
well,
believe
she's the
it
governor.
was Carrie Lake.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
I'm worried
Carrie
about the
Lake
next
won it.
one. I'm worried about the next one. All right, appreciate the call. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Jeffrey Wilson, and I'm from Washington State.
Yeah, Jeff. Just first names are all we need. Jeffrey in Washington. What's up?
Not much. Just wanted to say, your channel's a fucking...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Carl from Los Angeles.
Hey, Carl.
It is a terrible shame what happened to Charlie Kirk. I hate that happened. He was a bright young man and a patriot.
Yes.
Have a good day.
All right, take care. Yep, very true. Very true. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Everett, and I'm calling from Washington, Indiana.
All right, Everett. What's on your mind?
Well, feeling pretty down, but I guess we all gotta keep on keeping on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
I tell you, Charlie was loved by a lot, and he loved even more back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, wait until. Yeah, I was glad. President Trump, he addressed the nation last night. That was beautiful. And today at the Pentagon, he's going to award him at a major ceremony the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah. My heart's with Erica and the kids, but
oh my goodness,
golly, America! I mean, I was around when JFK got assassinated, and we went into the cafeteria, and we all had AVs, and the teachers were crying, and it really impacted me.
That was before I was born, although only 8 years before I was born. But I kind of imagine the way we were feeling today is how people felt the day after they killed President Kennedy.
I tell you what, a lot more people know about Charlie now through this. They're getting educated. They're learning about his faith and his courage.
And all those videos of him debating leftists on TikTok and everything, they're probably going ultra viral right now. His political philosophy and beliefs will be reached by millions and millions of people that never would have seen it before.
Yeah, just having the flag at half-staff today tells people that he was the guy that stood in the gap, made up the hedge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, listen, thanks for the call. All right, appreciate it. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of your calls after this. All right, we're back. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And if you'd like to support my channel, become a member here on YouTube. If you become a member, you get access to all the members-only emojis, and you get your name in a special color so you stand out in the chat, and you just become a member right there on YouTube. All right, let's go back to the phones. Oh, by the way, those of you that are new, I'm here every day, and I live stream all the time, always taking live calls from everyone out there listening, regardless of your political opinion. The toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean, what's up?
Yeah. Not an easy day, and of course the groundswell today, being this day in particular, doesn't make it any easier. And just been a lot of emotions, a lot's been going on, and following everything that's been happening. I want to just echo the sentiment of many other callers. Thank you for everything that you're doing, and keep on pushing hard and being passionate and being incredible. And we're all listening very intently, all the way.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And I wanted to say that one thing that really bothers me, especially from coming from the left, of course, they're the ones doing this, is they're the ones, and this happens in any situation in almost any situation we could deal in, and I know you've experienced this, I think we all have, and the left is very good at doing this, is when they get angry at us, they're getting angry at something that they did. Like this, what just happened to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
You know, they're all coming at us. Wait a minute. And then they start saying this both sides crap. I'm so tired of hearing that.
It's not both sides. I know they want to continue to say that, and the mainstream media are saying that. No, you look at these look, they got a Democrat assassin on trial here in Florida for the second assassination attempt on the president at the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
That's going on right now. Yeah. Come on. Where are these MAGA assassins?
Exactly. Where are they? We don't. I defy any of them to name three. Even one. You can't do it. And you know what? They're going to keep saying the same old rhetoric. It's a tired rhetoric. All right. We have a name right now. Sky Valdez. I suppose.
I'm not giving out. We're not doing names. We don't know. We don't have a name. Yeah. No names. We don't know until there's a press conference. No names. I appreciate the call. No names until there's a press conference. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Chase. I'm from Illinois.
Okay.
I didn't know if you could hear me.
I can hear you talking low. You're far from the phone, but go ahead.
Okay, I can try to speak up a little bit. I guess I couldn't see the rest of what you were talking about previously, but my only concern is that now that Charlie's gone, which I'm very sad that Charlie's gone. I love his videos. How do we continue on his work? I know he's got the chapters built in.
We keep on doing what we're doing. That's it. That's what we got to do.
They got a name.
Okay. Hold on a second. Well, I'm going to look over this article because I'm getting some updated information here. But we'll just keep on doing what it is that we are doing. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I want to look over something here. I may have something breaking. Let me look. And then we'll get, this is in the Daily Mail. Law enforcement has identified the name of suspect in Charlie Kirk assassination, but have not yet released it. Law enforcement has identified the name of a suspect in the hunt for Charlie Kirk's assassin. No arrest warrant has been issued at this time. CBS News reporting federal law enforcement believes it has identified the name of a person of interest, according to 2 U.S. officials and a law enforcement source. So far, however, no arrest warrant has been issued, okay? And they have not told us, I don't think they've confirmed if it's the person in the photo.
They deployed the marshals.
Okay, they're about to when they make an arrest, if it happens during the program, I will break it to you, okay? The U.S. Marshals are on the move right now. So as soon as we get that information, I will bring it to you if it happens during the broadcast. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, how you doing, buddy? This is Tony from Philadelphia.
I'm doing as good as I can do. The day after they assassinated the great Charlie Kirk,
Very disappointing. So, I'm a long-time listener of yours. I love your show. I'm in a little bit of a situation, Brian, and I want to tell you my situation.
No, I don't care about your situation. We're talking about Charlie. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Barbara calling you from Baltimore. Thank you so much for having this on this afternoon. I've stayed busy today. It's been a tough day.
Yeah.
Not as tough as it could have been if I didn't keep busy, but I was. And I just want to say this to a few callers that you've had looking for some moral equivalent to what a few of the other people have done, and they call them MAGA people, but I would not believe that that's what they were, but they shot up other people. There is no moral equivalent or any other kind of equivalent to what happened to Charlie Kirk and to these assassinations that are targeting people who are trying to do good, period, in my opinion. And that's just that. There is no, because of black people don't get outraged when black people are dying in the streets every day in every major city in this country. So don't call in and talk about who's, upset about somebody doing this or doing that. There's nothing that compares to what happened to Charlie Kirk.
No.
And it's hard to even think about it. I'm glad I didn't see the video. Nick, give him a shout out. He's got a lot more guts than me. I did not want to look at that because you can't unsee something like that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I saw it. I wish I.
Yeah, you can, and he didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it. And I just want to say that I'm going to hold up all of you that are so brave, all you talk show, your hosts, your people with podcasts, conservatives, hold you up in prayer. Go about your business and be brave. Put your hand in God's hand and do what you got to do. And I encourage everyone to support Turning Point. That's what we can do now. Find out where the local Turning Point offices are, where you live, and get involved with them and help them. We have got to get rid of these radical left-wing lunatic communist people that are trying to take over this country.
That's right.
And Charlie has a new book. It's called Right-Wing Revolution, How to Beat the Woke and Save the West.
Really?
It's on Amazon.
How new is that book?
Well, it was written in 2024. It's the last one. I got his first book in 2022, and that is The College Scam. That was the first one that's when, and I also saw him. I had the pleasure of hearing him at CPAC, because CPAC was one of my favorite things to do when I could, and he was a speaker there, and I got to see Andrew Breitbart as well at another one.
Wow.
But he didn't deserve this. His family, he has a young family. Everyone who's got a heart should feel compassion for that family and really deep sorrow that our country has sunk this low.
Absolutely.
This is what's happening.
Yep.
So you be careful, but like I said, y'all have stepped up the security, step it up, make sure that people got your head on the swivel and do what you got to do, because I'm wearing my MAGA stuff, and that's just how it is. That's how I feel. I love President Trump and what he's doing. I'm so happy to see J.D. Vance is accompanying the body back home to his family, which is a good thing. And, it's just hard to even accept that this is what our country has come to, but it has, and we're going to have to fight to change it. And that's just all there is to it.
Well, it's good to hear from you, Barbara. I appreciate your call.
Have a great day.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Take care. Yeah, it's been a rough day, no doubt. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. My name is Jody in Illinois.
Jody in Illinois. What's on your mind?
I was going to ask, in your opinion, with the media, don't you think since the 1948 Smith-Mott Act got redacted by Obama, to the point that they can use propaganda, false narratives to push certain things, to the point that the news is not like it was, like even in the 70s? Obama even mentioned that he knew what that is, and I think he knew what he was doing when he did that.
Well, you got to be careful with when you talk about like censoring with the media and everything. You got to be careful because right now we're in charge, so you're like it's safe, right? You'd be safe because these people are irresponsible. But if you start censoring the media, one day if they're in charge again, they'll start censoring us. With that being said, the cable news in particular are just irresponsible and out of control. And the way to handle that is to put pressure on the corporations that own the big media to get their media under control and back to responsible broadcasting. And that can be I am a very responsible broadcaster. I always have been. I've been doing this my entire life. Since I was a teenager, I've been doing this. And you'll hear, if you listen to me enough, you'll hear what I don't allow, And these people on television are just twisted, sick people. Twisted and sick people. And I'll tell you, Joy Reid was responsible after the Rittenhouse verdict for that lunatic that ran down all those people at the Christmas parade in Wisconsin. Remember?
Yeah, no, I do remember, and I'm kind of wondering if we had those guidelines that you can't lie. I mean, I'm not talking about censoring
you can't
people.
lie is so vague. You can't lie. That's up to too much interpretation. Especially when you're covering news, because news is breaking and developing, and you get new information all the time. So. That's too vague. You can't lie. They say, I was talking to a liberal a few minutes ago, and he says, "Oh, you're lying." Okay, no, I wasn't, but he believes I was. No, can't do that.
Well, because a lot of times it's like half truths, kind of like CNN when they were saying, "Oh, there's good people, good like the KK members on good sides," and because you'll see one and thinking that was not even said, and all
Correct.
The propaganda that was pushed against
He said,
Trump.
you're talking about Charlottesville. President Trump said there were some fine people there, and I'm not talking about the white supremacist and the racist. That's exactly what he said.
And even to this day, they keep on talking about Nazis, and that's why I kind of go back to the Smith-Mott Act. Why? What was? Why?
I don't know. I don't know. Nothing Obama did was good. Hey, listen. I appreciate the call. Obama's a very bad guy. And I'm going to get Charlie Kirk's books. I've never read one of his books. I don't even know if I realized he had written books, but I am going to get his books, including. I'll start with the most recent. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Justin from Michigan.
Michigan, what's on your mind?
Hey, that's enough. How you doing today, Brian?
All right.
So I have a quick question for you, actually. It pertains to, violence and murder, right? And things of that nature.
It better be a decent question. It better not be an inappropriate question.
Okay. Well, no. I wouldn't say it's inappropriate. Okay. You'd have to define to me what decent is, actually.
Well, if you have to have it defined, you should take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Pastor Trevor up in Vero Beach, Florida. How are you?
All right, Pastor Trevor. Rough day.
Hey, listen, I know. And I tried calling them this morning, but listen, I wanted to share just maybe some words of comfort, even from a pastoral sense. But as much as we talk about Charlie Kirk, who I love and support, in fact, I feel like as a young minister, I grew up with him in many ways. I'm only 37. He was 31, and I've been a part of a lot of his events, even before I was, in some ways, converted to Jesus Christ. And that was his main mission. I understand, like, he promoted conservatism, traditional values, lower taxes, but he really aimed at promoting people to turn the light to Jesus Christ. And this attack on him was more than just a political attack. It is that, but I think it's an attack on Christianity itself. And where you were in West Palm Beach, we were there too.
Yeah.
And he had a big stance on supporting life. You know, we go out to different abortion clinics, not to protest and like be angry people. We in fact appeal to parents who are making choices that would murder kids, and we're there to say we can help you. We can help you have a better life and save these children. And at this point, even as a local church body, I mean, we're having to rethink a little bit of things. Like, do we wear Kevlar when we go out there? But at the same point, I think Charlie, if he wanted to be remembered, he would be remembered for his courage in standing up for Jesus. That was his big thing. And as much as we take time for mourning, and this isn't a day for mourning, and everyone should be a time for mourning, but I also, listen, our losses is great, but our God is greater. I want everyone to find comfort in Christ Jesus. I think that's where we should be leading to amidst this horrible tragedy.
Yeah, everything you said, Pastor Trevor's right. You know, I didn't realize. I mean, I knew he was a Christian, okay, and a true Christian, but I didn't realize until yesterday that was his primary focus. Everybody thinks it was Trump and MAGA, which was important, but he was mainly kind of like an updated version of what Pat Robertson and others were trying to do, with a lot less success. You know, Yeah.
And for all the people saying, well, the reason why he's so charismatic, the reason why he's so, such a great leader and principled, well, what's he principled on? What's his source of truth? His source of truth was the Bible. Yep. And by the way, there's a lot of cowards even in the pulpit. Now, I'm someone who, there's a lot of pastors who would shy away to not offend someone else. He was putting himself out there. And my encouragement for all believers, Christians, pastors, like be bold in the pulpit. Don't think like you have to shy away from the gospel truth and to promote what you know is right. You know, that whether it's the traditional values of marriage, transgenderism, and how we treat each other, we're all made in God's image.
Is your church non-denominational, or are you denominational?
Well, we're within the Presbyterian Church. In fact, uniquely, because of Charlie Kirk, TPUSA, it's not just a conservative group. The first value of TPUSA is it's a Christian group. In fact, I was up in a meeting in Melbourne. It was a cohort of pastors and church leaders of different types. Yeah. And, I'm thankful that Charlie Kirk made a platform for us ministers to reach across denominations to talk to each other. How can we influence our culture? Because too often our churches hide behind our walls and we don't want to say anything that's too offensive. And I'm like, that's not the gospel. The gospel is to go to the ends of the earth.
That's
not
right.
Within our walls.
I agree with you. If you're a pastor and you're never offending someone, you're probably not doing your job, because Jesus and what the church is about is offensive to, unfortunately, to a huge chunk of the population.
Jesus said that the word of God, it cuts to the soul, it's a double-edged sword, and it's supposed to be, my biggest prayer is that the churches would wake up, because they've been asleep. And I think this is the time for churches to stand up for what they know is true and right.
I was in, I'm Catholic, this, but we all believe in the same thing. I don't get this division between Protestant and Catholic. We all believe in but there was a guy that came in to do we call it homily, not sermon, but to do the sermon, who was from Priest for Life, and he was talking about what the church believes about abortion, and a whole bunch of women got up and walked out in the church service. I'd never seen anything like it before, but he didn't stop. He kept going. And, my guess was those were women who had probably had abortions and had a lot of guilt, and they didn't like hearing it.
There's a lot of potential for that. And listen, it's in the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church, but, that's where we as believers just need to continue to reach out to all, to to trust in Christ, even when it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's not like everyone who comes to Morning Star is a saved individual. I have to treat everyone as if like maybe they don't know the gospel. And I think Charlie Kirk, that's what he wanted. I appreciated his one tweet this past weekend was, you know, Jesus died so that everyone else could live. And then there really is life in Christ. And, you know, this whole attack from this individual, whoever this person is, and what we've seen over this last few months of other individuals, like, you know, it's either you're for God or you're against Him. There's no middle ground. There's no neutral.
Yeah.
And people need to finally really find their faith in Jesus Christ. That's my prayer in all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I got one, you know, like a lot of times people don't like to say Jesus or Jesus. They like to say the Lord. It's like, I say Jesus.
No.
I find like a lot of times when people say the Lord, I think it's like a code word because they're not comfortable saying Jesus.
It is. Oh yeah, you can hide behind the word God, hide behind the word Lord, because that could be any God, any Lord.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has a theology, but my theology is Jesus. You know,
Yeah.
and I know I've shared this with you before. You know, we've adopted our kids. We're big proponents of. You know, Charlie Kirk was a huge proponent of like how to protect life, and you know, I look to him as someone who encouraged other people to, you know, protect all people who are made in the image of God. Not everyone's a child of God, but everyone's made in the image of God. And that's why you have evil out there. They want to destroy God's image.
That's right.
And we need to, as Christians, to uphold God's image.
Mm-hmm.
Even if someone isn't a Jesus follower, I mean, Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount, you know, bless those who persecute you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we're being persecuted.
Absolutely. I mean, look at Minneapolis. I mean, that was a definite attack on. Well, tell people listening how to find your church online.
Oh, sorry. Say that last part again.
Tell people listening how to find your church online.
Oh, yeah. Whether it's on YouTube or our website, you go to Morning Star Vero. Vero is V as in victory, ERO. We're in Vero Beach, Florida. And all my sermons are posted up there. We're on 1 Thessalonians. If you want to start a new book of the Bible and just go chapter by chapter, verse by verse, we'd love to have you join us and listen to us online. But, you know, if you're looking for peace, find your peace in the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ.
That's right. Morning Star Vero. All right, Pastor Trevor, we'll talk again.
Thank you, Brian.
All right. Take care. All right. Great. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Kevin in the Villages.
Hey, Kevin, what's up?
Hey, Charlie came to speak at our Villages MAGA Club September 19th.
And I do have an update. Charlie Kirk's assassin has been arrested. They got him.
Praise Jesus.
Yeah, they got him.
Yeah, he came to speak at our Villages MAGA Club, and what a great speaker. And, you know, Rush was the first one that introduced us to Charlie, I think 2016, 17, and we're just heartbroken about it. And we realize they hate us, and we don't hate them, and how do we deal with that?
Yeah.
They hate us, we don't hate them.
Right? If we knew the answer to that, we'd have no problems. You know, the left, there's not much of the left, right? I mean, their entire movement has evaporated, and there's not much of it left, and the people that are left are the most fringe lunatics out there, right? I mean,
yep,
that's, you know, and they're insane. I mean, and I mean that. Look at Rosie O'Donnell or Joy Reid, right? Are those two women sane? They're certifiably insane. They're not rational people.
Look at all the people in your comments section. I mean, and I wonder if I met these people at a grocery store, I don't think they would act that way. There's something about hiding. You think so? Well,
it happens to me all the time. Well, because, you know, people know me. Believe me, they're nasty out in public too.
And the media's narrative today has all been, well, it's not one-sided, it's two-sided.
It's not two-sided.
Nancy Pelosi.
That
was a Democrat.
Come on.
They bring up the Minnesota lawmakers. Those were Democrats.
Yeah. But they tell you they were MAGA.
Right.
You know,
But I wanna thank you.
we never got the true story from Paul Pelosi and that guy. I know
No.
he answered the door in his underwear. What the hell? I don't answer the door in my underwear.
But listen, you deserve kudos. When we lost Rush, it was so hard, and you filled the void like you just can't believe. So
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. That's the greatest compliment I can give when people tell me that. Take care. Appreciate the call. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air? Once, twice. All right. Well, it's good news that they caught the shooter. I'm going to take a quick break and be right back.
Saying they deployed U.S. Marshal. When he said they got him, we'll see.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. The Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Just search for The Brian Craig Show. I'll pop up. And if you want to catch the show live, where I'm taking the live calls, follow me on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. All right, back to our busy phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Ricky from Vero Beach.
Hey, Ricky, what's on your mind?
I love you. You're beautiful.
Okay, yes. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Chris from Alabama.
Yeah, Chris.
Hey, I think it's real weird that the left chose to go after Charlie when, in my opinion, he's actually like pretty middle of the road on what he's saying. He's not even the extreme right.
What do you mean the extreme right? Who's the extreme right?
Well, like Richard Spencer, which maybe is more like CIA or something. Maybe.
No, those aren't right. That's not. Those aren't Republicans. Those are no, please. Nick Fuentes.
I'm talking right. I'm not a Republican.
Fuentes, he's not a Republican. He's an opportunist. He's a.
No, I'm not talking Republican.
You said on the
Not
right.
Right, left, you know?
They're not on the right.
Yeah, like,
they're not on the
like
right.
total, like, shut down immigration, you know, far right. Like,
No, they're not right.
I guess we agree to disagree on that one.
No, it's just you're
Anyway,
wrong. You
really?
just don't know what you're talking about. But that's okay. You know, you're not the first caller I've had that didn't know what they were talking about. But yeah.
Yeah, I heard some of the other ones, like the whataboutism and stuff, but the guy from Tallahassee or whatever it was that, you know, let's downplay Charlie getting murdered because...
All right. Appreciate the call. Yeah, boy. We had a run of great calls, and now you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Henry from California.
Yes, Henry. What's on your mind?
I'm so upset. I'm so hurt. I just want to know, did you check out that TMZ when you were cheering?
You know that TMZ, they'll never recover from this. I did see it. I saw it yesterday, and I saw Harvey from TMZ come out and say, oh, they were watching a car chase and they were cheering out a car. Who the hell was watching a car chase yesterday afternoon after the Charlie Kirk assassination? No, they'll never recover from that. And I've always been I'm not into celebrity gossip, but I've always been a fan of Harvey because I remember when he used to be the legal advisor to Judge Wapner on the original People's Court. I used to watch that when I was a kid, and every once in a while he'd come in and give a legal opinion for Judge Wapner. No, that was sick. But hey, like you, you're in California. You know what it's like in California.
Thank you what you do, Brian. I watch your show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. I wanted to play this clip. This is what C-SPAN let on their air. Listen to this, C-SPAN. Hear this caller? I mean, this sounds like one of the sounds like one of my guys that calls me all the time. Maybe it is, right? And they're letting this. I'll play the whole call, but they're letting this call blame Charlie Kirk for his assassination. I mean, did Lincoln enrage the Democrats? He did, but does that justify his assassination? Of course not. This is just insane to me. C-SPAN. Oh my goodness, that's what they let on the air on C-SPAN. The thing about the left, you got to think like they think, and they are crazy. They think words are acts of violence. They think debate is a violent act unless you're agreeing with them. I can't believe they let that guy on C-SPAN. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Colorado, Washington.
Washington, you're on. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this whole thing with Charlie Kirk, this was absolutely unexpected. I was not expecting yesterday just to be.
Oh no.
Just finding something out like that, man. Because this is just I mean, with all what's going on, it's ridiculous enough, and it's absolutely tragic with all what's going on. That's been. I'm sorry if I'm a little out of breath. I'm not really so on with things. Anyways, but just like with the stuff that's gone in Minneapolis, the shooting also happened yesterday in Denver. Apparently, that was going on at the same time this happened. But no, just like it's absolutely insane. But the whole thing with Charlie is like the people that are I'm also a little scatterbrained at the moment. But no, just what happened with Charlie was tragic.
Absolutely.
He didn't deserve it. Nobody, whatever their beliefs are, nobody deserves that.
But the left believe that he did, and they keep saying it over and over again, like that caller on C-SPAN. Some of the liberals I've heard from, you've seen it on the news. The liberals believe that he brought this upon himself, and he's responsible. I mean, do they blame a rape victim because she's good looking and was wearing a skirt? Is it her fault? No, I mean, come on. This victim blaming's insane.
And that's just absolutely ridiculous. Because I mean, it's like the whole thing with that Ukrainian lady that got stabbed on that bus. They were saying like, oh well, she kind of brought this upon herself. I'm thinking like, how?
Exactly.
And people brought up situational awareness.
Mm-hmm.
My dad preaches the kind of same thing. Oh, well, you got to be aware of your surroundings. And I'm like, you can't expect everything to happen, something like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be on your guard all the time because you're obviously going to want to just relax. Something like that. The guy was just sitting behind her. He was just reaching into his pocket, pull out his knife, and then, okay, I'm going to stab her. That's literally how quick it just happened.
Well, that guy was driven to that by this rhetoric of the left, just like these assassins we're talking about. The left have told these people that do these terrible things that they're entitled to do it because white conservatives are out to do whatever,
No. There is no way. No. And you're not entitled to take another person's life. That is the lowest thing you could ever do to another person.
Absolutely.
Taking their life,
It's the worst.
especially when it's got the most absurd of reasons.
Yeah. I know.
Like,
but the left. But you hear the left. The left keeps saying that Charlie Kirk brought this upon himself. They've been saying it for over 24 hours.
Well, you know what? He was exercising the one freedom that we all deserve to have and should not be afraid to use.
Exactly.
The freedom to talk and speak your mind, to be able to have intelligent conversation with another person without fear of them retaliating, either with the intent of just scolding you for it or the intent to even take your life for it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody should ever be afraid to speak their mind, no matter
Correct.
what the opinion.
That's right.
And you know what? I've watched a lot of commentators talk about different sorts of subjects over the course of many years, and some of them, they talk about people that preach hate speech, Nazism and stuff like that. Those individuals, they always say though, I don't support this, but that's another thing about free speech is that anyone can use and have that right to talk and preach whatever they want.
No, it's not true. You don't have the freedom of speech to incite others to hurt people, and that's what they've been doing. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. You made some great points. Thanks so much. If you're on hold, hang in there. I wanted to play this clip. This was the president today speaking to these fake news reporters, in fact, including the lady from CNN. They don't replace Charlie. Yeah, I'm going to play the beginning of it again. He says, you don't replace Charlie Kirk. Yeah. It's also being reported that the president had a long conversation last night with Charlie Kirk's wife. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Charlie calling from hell. Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, then he turned up the volume in the back to hear himself. Oh, my. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes.
So,
Okay. Oh, my goodness. She let herself go. I guess she couldn't get her thoughts together. If you're new to my program, my name is Brian Craig, and I host a morning radio show, and I have a podcast, and I'm here on this YouTube channel all the time, live streaming, and I do this every day of the week. I take live calls on my YouTube channel right here, and you're all welcome to call in, regardless of your political background, right? If you agree, you're welcome to call in, and if you passionately disagree, you're welcome to call in. Okay, and I do this every day. So welcome if you're new. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you'd like to support my channel, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the episode. And if you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcasts, okay? Exclusive only to Patreon supporters. If you become a top Patreon supporter, you get a live on-air thank you shout-out on every episode, and you get your name up on the screen, too, as you're seeing right now. The names you'll hear now, these are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SFjr, Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, and Janice. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. Again, there's a link in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening on. That'll take you right to my Patreon page. Or you can go to the direct website, patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. Patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling in from Maryland.
All right, speak up, Maryland.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear the giggling.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, well, there you go. We're going downhill with the calls. Well, I'll tell you this, though. The rest of you on hold, I'll be back tomorrow morning early, and I will be continuing. If you stay on hold, you'll be first in line on the show tomorrow. Now, tomorrow's Friday, and Friday's show is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. On Friday's show, you can call in about any and everything on your mind, although the main focus is going to be the latest involving the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And hopefully we'll have all the details on the assassin when I wake up in the morning. I'm hoping to have that. So if you are on hold, hang in there. I'll be back in, 11 hours, okay? Less than 11 hours. I'll be back taking your calls. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for watching. Again, make sure you subscribe.